Tim's complaining, didn't slow us down too much. Mark's apathy, not a big factor in the end.
Roche did not factor in at all, I don't think.
Now, don't miss him, don't want him back.
No, we need him back.
Come on, Nubs.
We need Jen Lawyers next year.
Really,
get so flustered.
really interesting draft board from a lot of angles.
Shirt off, come on.
At least I'm on the button.
Probably,
one button. One
probably
button.
the biggest takeaway from the board,
The big board.
from a pricing standpoint, is running backs were going cheaper than ever, and wide receivers were going more expensive than ever. So there are winners and losers in the way that all shakes out.
Enough foreplay, dickhead. Let's go.
We'll jump right into it then with the number 10 projection in the league. That would be John McGain.
This team is horrible.
He hoarded cash when everyone of value went off the board and was just stuck with money and no one to spend it on. He has a running back issue. Ellington and Bernard are question marks at best.
Thor.
His receivers are decent. He's got a major quarterback problem. I mean, Cutler's still just chucking them in the air. He doesn't even have really a very good tight end or any redeeming quality whatsoever. That's like a 3-10 team in this playoffs, no chance. Number 9, and I'm judging this on the draft, of course, not the interseason, trust season moves, is Willie.
Oh!
Look at the mileage on these running backs. Any forward-looking model has to be terrified of the mileage. Peterson, Lynch, and Foster are each in their what, 5th, 6th years? The amount of touches, the amount of hits, I don't see how he doesn't have major injuries throughout the year. His receiving core is in shambles. His quarterbacks are high risk, high reward, we call them. But he spent all of his money really on backs. And that's not the way the NFL works these days. It's kind of like the Panthers. They spent all their money on running backs. Those aren't very valuable anymore.
Panthers made the playoffs last year.
You want some more of that?
Next in line, perhaps ironically, is Hanford. I loved his draft after 5 picks. And it really went nowhere.
Oh, Hanford.
That's true.
Hanford.
Dude,
Thor.
that's such a Bub's line every year when he goes, he's got the best team in the league, except you need another 12 players.
You wrote it on Drew.
Yo, you put on. Yeah.
Wrote it on Drew.
Hanford is 8.
Shot.
Yeah.
Pick, everyone was tracking with Hanford, but it doesn't actually come together to put up very many points.
Willie's leaving.
That running back core, I don't think anyone here wants his running backs, and I don't think anyone here wants his receivers.
Will you grab me one too? Yeah.
I mean,
Grab one.
he spent a lot of money on Breeze, and he's going to score a decent amount of points, but does he have 2 good running backs? Does he have 2 good receivers? I think the answer to both questions is no. That team's going to struggle, and I think that team misses playoffs.
His receivers.
Next team, the last team to miss the playoffs for me is Mark. He's got 4 superstars, but 0 depth whatsoever. He spent all his money on 4 guys. And
Who are the 4
Kaepernick,
superstars, bud?
Graham, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, and Monty Ball. But 1 injury, and he's running for the hills.
What was the final price on Graham?
55.
$55. Highest player on the
$55
draft.
for tight end.
Highest player on the draft.
Oh my god.
I mean, I like the 4.
That's more than Peterson?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was 4-1 and in 2nd place midway through the season, but he's just 1 injury away from, and a couple bye weeks from. I mean, when the Bears are on bye, holy shit! Look at that. The rest of that. Good God.
It's called waiver wire.
You just had 5 cracks at the waiver wire. Look at your last 5 guys. So, anyways, yeah, that's not a playoff team either. Head is the
Luckily, it's they'll
sixth.
tell you in off camps.
Head is the 6th seed.
That's the highest you've ever ranked me, Bubs.
I love the Stafford Johnson.
By 4 spots.
There's not a ton there at running back, and that's a problem. But decent receivers, good quarterback. I love the QB, the top QB and receiver combo in the league. I love putting that together. Did wonders for Drew last year with Graham and Breeze. Should pay some dividends for that. I think he gets in the playoffs and gets bounced quickly.
For those of y'all watching at home, Bubs is still in contention for the #1 spot.
You don't have any running backs that I would move on.
Agreed.
Next in line
Agreed.
would be Colin. He can't be pleased with this. He has a really good running back, #1 running back, a really good #1 wideout, and a decent #2 of each. So he's in the top half of the league. But Cam Newton could not have been what he wanted to do today. That had to be a mispick where he was trying to drive up the price.
There aren't any names in the league that rhyme with Cam Newton. You probably meant to do it.
It's okay. I just think he was trying to drive the price up of the QB, and you really don't have a quarterback option. That's a problem. You're going to deep dealing. Again, top half, like Forte and Martin, like Cobb and Green. But there's depth issues too. Don't like anybody else. Jonathan Stewart, Mojo D. Good God. Pierre Thomas. Sean Green. I think he got a little drunk at the end.
Let's all remember this when we get to
Yeah,
Bubs.
Next up is Scott.
Getting closer.
top 3 spot for Bubs.
Pretty good running backs, awesome QB, little
No.
No.
Oh, put it for Bubs, not Scott.
Scott is 4th. Pretty good running backs and awesome QBs.
Dayton education over here.
That gets him for a little light on the wideouts. Wideouts were going for a fortune, and he didn't want to pay the dough. He's as far as Cordell Patterson, doesn't matter how good you are if you have nobody to throw to you, which is why Colin's going to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs with Blue Green. Decent team. Tim is #3. This is definitely the highest I've ever rated Tim, and it doesn't feel good. Pretty good receivers, really good running backs, and Peyton Manning.
Really good running backs.
He
doesn't have #1. Who and who?
Zach Stacy, Ben Tate, Trent Richardson. It's the ALS challenge. I nominate Daniel Donovan.
Boo!
You threw him off. He's totally off now.
Well, Colin's numbers are wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bubs, you put. What are you doing with the numbers, dude? You put 4 under Bubbles.
I'm number
4 was going to be
For
Scott.
You know that number's a 1 or a 2.
#2 is Drew. Talk about a guy I never have rated at the top. I mean, this guy has a reserved spot at the end of my predictions. Lacey and Charles is a backfield worth paying for. Love the luck pick, big time steal. Vereen and Ridley, obviously, I really like.
Wait, let's talk about Ridley.
High potential wide receivers. Cruz, Crabtree, Watkins, and Nix. I'm not really sure which 2 are going to be the starters, but I kind of like each of them. You just can't really count on any of them. But
Crabtree has dominated the last couple of years.
in some way, shape, or form, I think that shakes out as a okay receiving core and a dominant running back core. And he's probably got the 4th best quarterback in the NFL. That's a really good team. #1. For the second time in 3 years, This is the playoffs the last 3 years. Laughing the hardest. That is over there.
Oh!
Number 1 would be Bob's dominant trio of wide receivers, which was clearly the strategy coming in. He had a fortune to get them.
Clearly.
Matthews and Gore are
You're
both
referring to
on-
yourself in the third person?
Both on good teams. He's got the right handcuffs for both of them. Kind of love RG3. He's going to start a lot of games for this team.
Check it out, dude.
I think the the 4th title for Judge Bassetta's po' boy is in the making.
Judge
Wow. Terrible.